Welcome to A Talk with the County Manager. We're here today with County Manager Craig Honeycutt. And Craig, it's been an exciting summer so far, and we've just started.
Very much.
Passed the budget. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Want to talk today about some clarification between what general statutes actually require Board of Commissioners and local governments to do, and maybe dispel some myths about that. And then talk about some departments. We've had a lot of changes and a lot of exciting things going on. So, first of all, how are things with you?
They're great, and you're right. It has been an exciting summer so far, and I appreciate the work that we've done, and also the Board of Commissioners to get us to this point, and to have a passed budget that did not include a tax increase. So that really does say a lot. Even though it was a reval year, it really says a lot that the Board of Commissioners was committed not to have a tax increase.
Well, and we'll go ahead and discuss the fact that it was a split decision, which doesn't often happen. As a matter of fact, this board has always, for the most part, been in unison on their decisions, but this was a tough year.
Well, and I still think that they were fairly much in unison on the budget. Their issue is just differences of opinion, and that's the great thing about local government and government in general is you can have differences of opinion. Doesn't mean one side is right and one side is wrong. It's just a different way of looking at projects and issues and concerns and teacher recruitment. So there was different opinion. It was really discussed very openly and very honestly, and that really is very refreshing from a board to see that a subject such as teachers in schools can be discussed and honestly, and really all sides work together what was the best interest for all of Wayne County.
Well, and you put that in a different perspective for a lot of people, because what might have seemed like a division was, as you said, just a different perspective.
Right, so it really is. If you look overall, the budget that was presented did not get changed much at all. The only difference of opinion was really on how to do supplements. And I think there was a unified consensus that something needed to be done, but it was how it was done. Timing should have been done as a bonus. So there was a lot of different ideas that were thrown out that really makes government fun, that you look at all these different options and then you try to come to consensus over things, and it really, we ended up with, I think, a very good budget overall.
Well, I think that's great that you look at it as a fun aspect. Perhaps some of the departments don't like finance, but they put their heart and soul into it for about 6 months. So,
very much.
And let's talk about other departments right now. First, in terms of the budget, the commissioners as well as the staff, upper staff, had said, let's go ahead and from the very start cut it to as a final line as you can, so that we don't have to go back and forth, and they did that.
They did an incredible job, and one of the things, we had a clear direction from the Board of Commissioners, not a lot of fluff, and we made sure that there was not a lot of fluff within our budget. One of the things that we asked departments to do was hold the line as much as possible. And if you look overall, where the increases were in individual budgets was not operational wise, was in benefits and in retirement and in our health insurance. You know, those things went up, and those things sometimes we don't have a lot of control over, if any control. And we were able to, you know, if they were increased, it was because of those benefits going up.
Well, and that makes a lot of sense. Now, speaking of departments, some changes. Some good?
We've had some changes, yes. Very, you know, some sad, and we've had some changes in our DSS. Tammy Shrinker has left us for Moore County.
A little bittersweet there.
A little bittersweet there, but also very excited for the opportunity that Kim McGuire has. And Kim is going to do a phenomenal job. Kim's local, has worked with the county for 15 years. She has really come through the ranks, and we're excited about Kim and the job that she's going to do. We're also looking at a new emergency management director. Excuse me. We appreciate Craig Brown and the work that Craig did. Craig decided to look at other options, so we're looking at emergency management right now. We've just hired a new 911 director in Chris Barnes. So a lot of different things that we're looking at. Also, Brian Smith has recently put his resignation in as EMS director. So we are looking at a new EMS director. So we appreciate the work that they've done, but we're excited about new challenges and new changes, and really a new aspect of how people look at things as we move on towards the future.
Well, I want to comment a little bit about Kim. Seeing Kim and Tammy work as a team when we came through Hurricane Florence was it was poetry. And
Right.
It didn't seem so to them because they were in charge of all the shelters. There was so much that they had to do, but what an incredible job. So there's a great comfort in knowing that Kim is stepping up into that position.
You're exactly right, and I really appreciate what Tammy did. Tammy
Oh, yeah.
worked very hard, knowing that she needed to do a succession planning, and she really worked with Kim to make sure that Kim knew the ins and outs of especially the hurricanes and shelter management and next steps. And so for the past year and a half, she really worked closely with Kim, and it really has been a seamless transition, especially for social services. And if you look at social services, that's one of the largest departments
Oh my gosh.
the county has within county government.
There are definitely departments that I would not want to take the lead on.
Right.
So, and that's one of them because I know I wouldn't be qualified. So, watching Kim, she is something else, and she's definitely capable of filling the shoes of Tammy Shrinker,
Right.
who we all love and miss already.
Right.
Chris Barnes, 911.
Right.
I don't know that I've seen that kind of enthusiasm out of a young man just for the groundbreaking of the new facility, which we desperately need.
Right. Very much so.
So we just experienced that recently, and his excitement is infectious. I think he's going to bring a lot to the department.
Chris is another person who's kind of grown up within Wayne County government.
Okay.
And so we're excited about Chris and the opportunity that he has. He is so talented, like you said, so enthusiastic, and really trying to change the culture down there within 911. And we have kind of say, now you're director, oh, by the way, we need to build a new building. So
Here you go.
congratulations, here's a grant for $1.7 million that you have to help administer. Here's the construction. So, hey, jump off in the deep end of the pool.
Exactly.
So, but if anybody can do it, Chris can. And so we're very excited that Chris is, his enthusiasm, his excitement, and really his dedication to Wayne County 911.
Absolutely. And give a shout out to Brian Taylor, who stepped up right now during the interim.
Right.
Shout out to Kendall Lee, who's done a phenomenal job
Right.
getting our EMS stations on board.
Right.
And we'll have the fourth one coming up soon.
The fourth one coming up soon in Mount Olive. Then we're looking at opening up in Miller's Chapel. So it really is an exciting time for emergency services here in Wayne County with new facilities, really new leadership that we're looking at. So hopefully we can do some things a little bit differently as well, and really make a huge impact on our citizens.
These services that we're providing are a quality of life and something that's necessary
Right.
within that. We probably go above and beyond to make certain that we have every corner of the county covered. But there are certain things at the county, and I'm going to go back now to dispelling some myths. There are things that general statutes require a county to do.
Right.
Let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room in the
Right.
school system.
Right.
We, by law, are required to do what?
We're very simply is the bricks and mortars of the school, and making sure that the utilities are paid for, making sure that they're clean, and making sure that they're operating, the facilities are operating like they're supposed to. So, but sometimes counties will go above and beyond and do supplements for teachers and give additional funding for additional programs. So
Like IT.
like IT. So we've done additional projects we put $600,000 in the budget over a 4-year time frame to really kind of jumpstart some of the IT projects that the school system was trying to do. So again, it really is a partnership, but the main responsibility that we have is the bricks and mortar and making sure that the schools are operating clean and safe and in good working condition.
And when you say operating, you mean the functionality of the building.
Right.
And so that's my point. Explain that, because I hope that our listeners and the community as a whole will understand we are not the board in charge of how schools are run.
Right.
We can't make those
Right.
calls.
We are the funding agency.
Right.
Is what we are responsible for. But as far as the day-to-day operations, as far as curriculum, as far as how schools run, operate, discipline actions, teacher pay, that's a state issue. Really, most of what happens over at any school system within a county is the responsibility of that school system. And again, we're just really the funding arm of that school system.
Well, I hope that explains it for some, and it can get muddied
Right.
because if your responsibility is simply to put a building there, maintain that building, but you go above and beyond,
Right.
then people might
Right.
begin to expect other
Right.
things. So
Exactly.
it does need some clarification. I'm trying to think of anything else that we've had recently or that we've got coming up that you would want to talk about.
Well, we've doing a lot of things with economic development, really working well. Appreciate Mark Pope, who works as our executive director for Wayne County Development Alliance. Mark is really doing some amazing things. The Goldsboro Industrial Campus off of Patetown Road is really starting to kick off, so we're
That's
getting a lot of
exciting.
interest there. The shell building that we're building out at Park East, the footers are being done.
Wow.
Hopefully within the next 30 days or a couple of weeks, you should see walls going up there. So we're excited about that, and we're already submitting that shell building on current projects now. So,
Oh, that's great.
so we're very excited about that. So really a lot of good things are happening in Wayne County, and I'm just very
That's wonderful.
excited and lucky and blessed to be here.
Well, I think we all are. It is a great place to work, and so we thank you for your leadership, and it's been extremely apparent during this phase as we go from one budget year into the next, and we start that July 1. So
We do.
that'll be
And
exciting.
It is, and it's now is nice to have the budget behind you, and now we can start concentrating on some other things of how we can help and improve the efficiencies within Wayne County, but also provide better services for our citizens.
All right. Well, I think that covers pretty much what we need to for now. We'll
Okay.
come back and do another one of these interviews. Thank you so much for joining us today for a talk with the county manager.